Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be drafting an off-shoulder bustier with princess darts. So if you would like to see that, keep on watching. But before we head right into it, please kindly thumbs up this video, subscribe if you haven't yet. So let's get into it. To come at this beginning side and mark out 1 inch and rule it. That is going to be our starting point. Because this is an off-shoulder outfit, off-shoulder crop top, it is going to start, it's supposed to start at the chest line. Do you understand? That's where you're going to start marking from. But my chest line, I'm a plus size girl. If I mark from my chest line, my cleavage is going to be all over the place. So I'm going to start my neckline where my top is going to start from, and what I'm going to be using is 4 inches. That's what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to place my tape at 4 inches. This 4 inches is also containing the sewing allowance. So if you're a smaller chested girl, you can go ahead and start your chest line at this point, or however much cleavage you want it to show. From this 4 inches now, I'll mark my upper bust length, and my upper bust length is 7 inches, or your chest line. Then I'm going to mark my bust line. My bust line is 11 inches, and I'm going to mark my under bust length. My under bust length is 14.5 inches, but I'll mark here 15 because of sewing allowance. Then I'll now come to my waist length is 16 inches, but I want this to be a crop top and I want it to also have a triangular back effect. So I'll go ahead and use my total, I want my total length to be 21 inches, and this 21 inches is also going to incorporate the sewing allowance. So I'll go ahead and mark all this across again and then rule it. This is going to be our neckline. Here is our upper bust length. Then this is my bust length, my under bust length, and then my waist length, and then my full length. And this is my center front. So guys, at this bust line, I'm going to mark my bust span divided by 2. My bust span divided by 2 is 4 inches. So I'm going to come here and mark 4 inches at the bust line here, and I also mark the 4 inches at the full length here. Then I'll go ahead and mark this, join this together. See that I started my marking on the bust length. So as I was saying guys, you see we did the 4 inches from the bust point. So we're going to move over to the neckline. And this is our neckline. I'll measure that 4 inches that we measured from at the bust point, but then I'll point it here, but I'm not going to connect it. From these 4 inches, I am going to add 2 inches. This is how you are going to form your curve. So you're going to connect these 2 inches. That's from here to here is 6 inches. You connect it to this 4 inches at the bust point. So you see the way I use my hand to make this to be curved, so it's not like a sharp bend. So what we'll now do after this is to come to our under bust length. We want to form our cup now. I am going to go in by 2.5 inches. If you are a small chested lady, 1.5 or 2 inches is okay for you, but me, I'm going to go in by 2.5, and I'll mark my 2.5 here. I will also proceed to mark the 2.5 at the full length, and then join the lines together. So the next thing we'll be doing is to connect this point at the bust length to this point at the under bust length, but you're going to use your curve ruler. For me, I don't know where I kept my curve ruler, so I'll probably be using freehand to connect, to create this curve. As I found this plate, I'm always using it to put my pin in it, and it has this curved edge. You don't have to always use the ruler. Any curved edge will do, even freehand. So your excuse shouldn't be that you don't have curved ruler. Okay, so have you seen the way I connected this here and it's giving the vibes? So the next thing we'll be doing is to come to this our neckline and go in by 1.5 inches. At this point, you go in by 1.5 inches. So it's at this 1.5 inch that you went in here that you're going to come and connect to this point at the bust line. What I'll do next is to curve out this place so it's not a sharp point. Let me write this here so that we can know what we have: upper bust length, under bust length, waist length, and then full length. So the next thing we are going to do now is to start imputing our body measurements. So we are going to come to this upper bust length, and we are going to mark our round bust. Our round bust is 44 divided by 4 is 11. So I'll first of all take the measurements at this point, which is, what do I have here? From here to this dark line that is here, and what I have is 5.25. It is from this 5.25, and I will now come and start at this place so we can get our actual round bust, which is 44. And this, the way we have done this, it has catered for this space at this point. I hope you understand what I mean. So this is our round under bust 11. So at our bust line, we are going to mark the same 11, because obviously we didn't remove anything at this point, so 11 is okay. So at the round under bust, I'm going to mark my round under bust measurement. My round under bust measurement is 30. So divided by 4, my round under bust measurement is 32. So divided by 4 is 8. So I'm going to take my tape from here and reach this, our first dot line here, and what I'm having is 4 inches. So I will now start my 4 inches from these 2.5 inches we went in this way. So I'll put my tape here, 4 inches, and then I'll now mark out my 8 inches. So this is my actual round my round under bust. So I'll come to my round waist. My round waist is obviously going to be the same thing as my full length, because this is a crop top. So I won't bother marking anything at my round waist, my waist length. I'll just come and mark it here. But if you're making a full length top and you know that your round waist, this is not a crop top, the full length is going to be your round hip. So the measurement you're going to use for your full length is going to be your round hip divided by 4. So let me show you how to do it here. My round hip is 50 divided by 4 is 12.5. So I'll go ahead and mark this 12.5 here, which is what from here to here is 4 inches. So I'll now put my tape from 4 inches. I'll now mark my 12.5 inches. But because this is not a full length for me, it's a crop top, I'll go ahead and mark my waist length here. So my waist length is 30 divided by 4 is 7.5. So I already know that from here to here is going to be 4 inches. So I'm going to place my tape at 4 inches from this dark leg and get my 7.5. And this is my measurement. I'll now connect this place together. So the next thing we are going to do is to come to our neckline. Remember, our neckline starting from 4 inches. So the measurement I'm going to be using here is my armpit to armpit. Please, if you don't know how to measure your armpit to armpit, I have a detailed full body measurement on my channel. So go and look at that and then come back, and I'll be linking that in the description box. My armpit to armpit is 14 inches. I am going to divide it by 2. So I'll now start from here. I'm going to divide it by 2. I'll start from here and measure out my 7. So from here to here is obviously 6 inches. So I'll now start my 6 inches from here. Then I'll get my 7 here. So this is where my 7 inches is. So I'll now connect these points to our round bust at our chest line. I just used my free hand to do this because I don't have a curve ruler. So the next thing we are going to do now is to come at this point, come down by 1 inch at this point, and then I'll take this particular line, I'll take it inwards like this. I'll go in maybe from here to here. I'm going to go in, let's say by 050. 050 is okay. I'll go in this way, and then I'll now come back to this full length here. What this is doing is to eliminate, and we are doing tightening to eliminate any form of space that is going to show on your outfit. So this is how we are going to cut at this side. I hope you understood what I did at this point. So now we are done. We are now going to, we know that we're not going to use this. We're going to cut this place out, and then we are going to also cut this place out. So I'll go ahead and label, this is my 1, and then this is my 2, and this is my side front. So for the back pattern, let me go ahead and rename it again. You have the neckline, you have the upper bust length, the bust length, the under bust length, waist length, and then you have your full length. So for the back pattern, what we are going to do is, please pay attention. I'll come to my waist length here, and I'll go in at my waist length by 1.5. I'll also go in at the full length by 1.5 here. Can you see? When I do this, I'll connect this 1.5 to each other at this point, and then from this 1.5 at the waist, I'm going to connect it to the full length. Let me explain this for you. My back outfit, I don't want it to have any dart opening. I want it to be like just one. So I went in at the waist by 1.5. This is going to also serve as our dart to help eliminate any form of folding during a dart zip side at the back. So let it be relaxed. So I also extended the 1.5 at the full length. Remember that this is a crop top. So my waist and the measurement here and here, they are the same thing. So I now connected it to this place. Sorry guys, they've taken the light, so we just have to continue. So what I'll now do, I'll come to this neckline here, and then I'll do the same thing, armpit to armpit, and then I'll mark my 7. Remember, there's no dart on this clothes, so the 7 is just going to be, you know, straightforward. 14 divided by 2, so that's the 7. I'll come at my under bust length and then mark my round bust, and I'll start my measurement from, not the full length, from this new line, this line that is connected to 1.5 at the waist and at the full length. I'll mark my round bust. My round bust is 11. I'll mark it here. At the bust line, I don't have to remark at my round bust because it's basically the same thing. So at my under bust, I am going to mark my under bust length, which is 8 inches. I'm starting from this, our new line. So I'm going to mark my 8 inches here. And then for the waist length is 30 divided by 4, that's 7.5. And I won't bother marking it at the waistline because it's the same thing, it's a crop top. So I'll just mark it at the full length here, which is 7.5. And then I'll go ahead and connect everything together. So next thing I'll do is to go ahead and connect this line to this line to create our curve, our armhole curve. So we are going to disregard this, cut out this place, we don't need it. And this is our center back, and then this is our side back. So at this neckline now, I'm going to come down very well, let me say by 6 inches. I don't want my neckline to be this high and be straight at the back. I want it to have a bit of curve. So let me just say, let me come down by 6 inches here. When I come down by 6 inches, I will now connect this line together. From this, our armpit to armpit line here, I'll connect it to this place. This is my neckline for the back. We want to form our triangular basque. So what I'm going to do is that I'll come at this full length here, come in by 0.50, half an inch. Then I'll connect this, my waist length, to this place. So this is what I'm going to do. I will mark it from here to here. So this is going to be our triangular basque. Do you see how we have formed this? By the time you cut this out, it's going to have this opening. And then for the back side, you are going to just take this straight. Let this be on the waist length because it's a crop top, so you're going to stop at your waist length. That's if that's where you want your crop top to stop. If you want it to be a little bit below your waist, you can come down. So this is how you get your triangular basque. But I'm not going to cut this out yet. I like to cut my outfit fully. It is when I'm now sewing it at the end that I'll do all this. I'll now manually cut my triangular basque on the table. So let's go ahead and cut this out. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, thumbs up this video, and I'll see you in the part 2 where we are going to be sewing and coupling this together.